I like to make my, oh, son of a gun. All right, I like to make my slides to go along with what I'm saying. Most importantly, so I can keep myself on track, because I always get off track. All right, LinkedIn. By the way, some people are a little confused, so you're not alone if you are, on what the heck LinkedIn, what it is about. So LinkedIn describes itself as jobs, business news, and social networking. And all of those things are important, especially if you're looking for a job one day, or you have a job to advertise. Maybe you're hiring somebody. Jobs, that's important. Business news. So it is a platform where news is disseminated, where people share information. That's important. Today, we're really going to focus mainly on the social networking aspect of those three categories, though. But this is how LinkedIn describes itself. What's different from LinkedIn, between LinkedIn and a Facebook and an Instagram? LinkedIn is more business-centric. So LinkedIn is more focused around business, around enterprise. Still, however, there is an element of a human, a one-on-one connection, and a one-on-one advertising, promoting, marketing yourself. Because at the end of the day, remember, this is not a website. This is not a place where you just advertise your goods or your services and then expect people to come flooding in. You have to engage. That social word is so important because that connotates interaction, dialogues, not just monologues. It infers that there's relationships and bonds that are going to be formed. So let's look at a few little stats. I know some of you are watching on your computer, some of you are watching on your mobile device, and some of you are just maybe listening, which is all great. So there's a slide that I'm sharing, and it's probably pretty darn small as I think about it. So you'll have to go back, and if you're not looking on your laptop, you can blow this up later and look at it. Actually, and I'll make you an offer because I'm going to offer something else in a second anyways. Send me an email or a text message and let me know, and I'll give you my email address here in a second, but you can find it on LinkedIn, you can find it on Facebook. I'll put it at the bottom of this post. Send me some kind of a message if you would like me to send you some of these infographics. I peel them right off of LinkedIn's website. There's also another really great little graphic though that I'm going to show you, and you're not going to be able to read it, but I'll share it with you in a second. I'll email you everything from this PowerPoint if you'd like to have it. But what it says on this slideshow, on this slide talks about LinkedIn is the #1 channel to distribute content that's business to business, B2B, that's business to business. LinkedIn drives more traffic to blogs, to business blogs, and to websites. 90% of social traffic was driven by the three big networks, right? You got Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those are kind of the big three. And half of all of the traffic that goes to blogs and goes to your website, if you're using LinkedIn consistently, half of it's coming from LinkedIn, which is huge. LinkedIn is considered, the last little stat here on this slide is LinkedIn is considered most effective for business to business lead generation, like we just talked about. 80% of social media business leads are coming from LinkedIn. That's huge, really, really big. So not to be something that's, overlooked or just thrown to the wayside. It's a big opportunity. Does it cost? For those of you who aren't on LinkedIn yet, you might be saying, well, how much is this platform? I've heard there's a charge. There's a little bit of a misconception out there on LinkedIn because there certainly are some professional upgrades that you can pay for. They start at $29.99 and they go up from there. I mean, there's enterprise, big level memberships that are hundreds of dollars, I believe. They're expensive. I think the one I pay for is 30 or 40 bucks. But you don't have to have any kind of a professional membership. You could just have a profile on there for free, and there's plenty of tools just with a free membership. So it's totally free to create a profile, and I strongly suggest, even if after today you don't really want to post very much on LinkedIn, which you should, but even if you don't want to, maybe you're not doing it yet, I'd strongly encourage you to have at least your profile set up, meaning your nice professional picture, cover photo, your name, your phone number, links to your website, links to other links to your any other promotional pages that you have, if you have landing pages or squeeze pages, you know, all the basic stuff, your email, your hours of operation, your specialty, your bio is really important. And the nice thing about LinkedIn is you have a lot more room, guys, to put more detailed information on your bio, your about section. If you remember, if you're on Facebook, you have very small, or Instagram especially, you only have, I think, like 100 characters. You have a very small little space to kind of put your bio and what you focus on and what you do and, you know, the kind of person that you are. LinkedIn allows you a lot of space to really put a lot of information on there. You can also do a video bio. So right in your bio section, you can attach a little video that's you, just like I'm doing right now. You face the camera and you're kind of telling about who you are and how you got into the business, or what part of town you focus on, or how great of a loan officer you are and why your customers like working with you time and again. Whatever it is, you can actually do a video. You can upload video testimonials. There's just a lot of great things you can do on LinkedIn. Like any tool, guys, you just got to get in the game and start clicking around and playing with it. I know some of you are probably shaking your heads in agreement. If you're on LinkedIn, you just got to get in. It's funny because sometimes when I do little workshops, whether it's like this little call that we have every morning, or whether I'm in person in a large group kind of in-person format, I don't like to get into too many tactical type of seminars. I do sometimes. One-on-one, I certainly do. If I'm your business coach, then I'll sit there next to you and help you do all this stuff if you want. But I don't like to give too many tactical things like, you know, click here, do this, drag this here. You know why? Because this stuff changes all the time. It changes pretty frequently. And so I like to give a broader overview and then let you guys get in there and play around and figure it out, because it'll change. So I risk if I say, go here, and here, right here is where you add people and all this, it could change tomorrow and then you'll be lost. So just get in it. And like I said, the more you use it, the more comfortable it gets to you. You'll figure out where things are. You can't break it. I remember years ago, I had some friends, and I had this one lady friend of mine, and she was really great at computers. And the other friend of mine, she was scared to death of computers. And we got to the bottom of why she was so petrified of computers. And she said, it's because I think I'm going to break something. I think I'm going to like mess it up, and my computer's never going to go back like it was. You can't mess any of this stuff up. So it's all good. But ask yourself, when you're going on LinkedIn, by the way, this works for any platform, any new endeavor that you're going to embark upon, or any new thing that you're going to do more around. Ask yourself, what's your goal of this LinkedIn? If you're going to dedicate 15 minutes a day to LinkedIn, an hour a day to LinkedIn, 2 hours a week to LinkedIn, whatever it is. And by the way, that is how I suggest that you use social media platforms, because they are like the black hole of doing anything. You know, when you get on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of these things, time goes into like hyper speed, and you're on there, you think for 15 minutes and it's 2 hours. It's just the way it works. That said, and by the way, they're all designed, all these platforms literally are designed, they're made, they're created to keep you on the platform, because these are all advertising mechanisms. These are all machines for selling advertising. So they're trying to keep you on the network, on that website. So don't feel bad about it. But long story short, I like segmenting time so that if you're going to go on LinkedIn and that's going to be part of your business strategy, then block out 10 minutes a day or whatever that increment of time is, and then treat it like an appointment. Set your alarm on your phone, whatever you got to do, but treat it like an appointment so that you don't end up just spending an exorbitant amount of time in there. 20 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. If you have a plan and you're going in there, you can accomplish a lot in 15 minutes on LinkedIn a day. I dare say you could really, really change your business in a positive way by spending a little time on Facebook and a little time on LinkedIn every day, or once a week. That's fine too, if that's all you could do. What is your goal? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we've talked about it a lot, but there again, it's worth asking because it applies to anything. Are you trying to build brand awareness? Are you just trying to get your brand out there and to be more well-known in your area, in your farm area, and in the community? Are you trying to generate qualified leads? Are you actually going to use this as a funnel so to speak? Are you actually going to go in for the kill and ask people for appointments and use the appointment setting feature and try to have some really important conversations? Are you trying to strengthen your brand's reputation? Kind of goes hand in hand with the building the brand awareness, right? But are you trying to get as many reviews on LinkedIn as possible so that you can really let people know what a great job you do and how much you care about your customers? Are you trying to engage with a target audience? There's a lot of demographic type of things you can do to hone in and work with just a certain demographic. Or are you trying to sell your product or service, like literally selling something online? In real estate, you're not really selling online. That would be a little difficult, but you can still definitely have some great conversations, right? Here's what I would tell you. If you get off the call right now and you and you don't want to hear the rest of the next few minutes, this is what I would want you to walk away with from LinkedIn. Think, connect and join groups. LinkedIn, have a page so that you can connect with as many people as possible and join groups. Toby, who am I going to connect with? You're going to connect with people that you know, people that you barely know, and people that you don't know. I am a big believer in connecting with people that you don't know. My little rule of thumb is if I have more than 20 connections in common with someone, even if I've never met that individual, if we have 20 friends, or in LinkedIn land, they call those connections. We're talking connections, just same thing, different vernacular. If somebody has 20 or more connections, the same as I do, so we know 20 people, or at least we're connected with 20 of the same people or more, I connect with them. Either I send them a connect request or I accept the request that they sent me. It goes both ways. People are always, once you're active on LinkedIn, just like Facebook, you're going to have people connecting with you, and all you have to do is hit accept. Every day you'll go in there and you'll have a bunch of people that wanted to connect with you. Cool. You'll hit accept. And it'll also recommend for people that you might know. So like here, you might want to connect with these 30 people, and you can go through and decide who or who not you want to send a connection request to. Here's what I would offer to you to think about. If you're only going to connect with people that you've met, only going to connect with like a small group of people that you know intimately, that would be the equivalent, in my eyes, of going to a networking event and only talking to the 4 people that you came with, or only talking to the people that you know. You're going to a networking event to meet new people. So go out and connect with some new people. They're not going to attack you through the computer because you've connected with them. They're not going to negatively impact your numbers because you've connected with them. Connect with them. They're new people. The wonderful thing about the real estate industry, one of the many wonderful things, is that everybody, it could be your next client or your next referral partner, or they could know somebody that's looking to buy or sell or that needs a mortgage, right? So expand your horizons. That's the value of it. Right now, one of the online people I like to follow, he said it really well. He said some people are complaining because we have this whole social distancing and we're unable to do in-person events and a lot of meetings. And he said, I think it's actually better. He goes, there's no way I could meet nearly the amount of people in person as much as I can meet them, as many as I could meet online right now today, sitting at my kitchen table. He's like, I can meet a lot more people online, digitally, virtually. It's right. It's true, right? So use this as an opportunity to get in the habit of joining, connecting and joining groups. Here's what I will say about joining groups. And I almost caveat this, or I am going to caveat this because I don't know exactly the current rules. There again, things change, but it used to be on LinkedIn that when you joined groups, and there's groups for everything. There's anything you can think of, real estate agents in a certain town, there's salespeople groups, there's leadership groups, there's any business topic you can think of, there's a group for it. And if you join groups, it used to be that you could send messages to people that were in that group, even if you weren't connected with them. So the interesting thing about LinkedIn is they don't want you to send messages, personal messages now I'm talking about, one-on-one messages. They don't want you to send private messages to people that you're not connected with. You can do it up to a certain number. I think it's 15, but don't hold me to that. But after that, they want you to be connected with that person before you send them a message. They call those in-mail messages, when you're not connected with the person and you're sending them a message. I don't want to get into too many like technical things and words, and I don't want to overwhelm everybody. Here's the cure for that. Just connect with people before you send them a message. If you can't, well, then there's an opportunity for you to send a message even if you're not connected with them. And by the way, when you pay for that membership, remember that $29.99 and up, those prices, whatever they are, monthly fees. When you pay those monthly fees, you're able to send messages to people even if you're not connected with them. Here's my thing though. Many of us, many of me, you, we're not sending messages to people we're not connected with that often anyways. So it's, I don't know, it's not really that big of a hindrance. I wouldn't even worry your mind with it, especially if you're not really using LinkedIn a lot. You'll get there in time. That's a bridge you can cross later. But back to joining groups. In other words, they're beneficial because you get to engage with people in a smaller forum. You get to meet people. You have then something in common with the people in that group. So there's a reason for you to send a message in the first place and reach out. But there was a benefit of being able to send private messages to people that were in the same group. Advertise your link to draw people to your page. This is a little hack, a little tip. For those of you who are already using LinkedIn, pay attention to this one. It helps for your LinkedIn profile to be seen by even more people than normal when LinkedIn can tell that you're bringing people into LinkedIn. And I'm not wording that in an easy to understand fashion. You want to make sure that you're advertising your LinkedIn profile, your URL, your link, to as many people as possible so that they can click on the link, whether it's your email signature or on your business card or maybe on your mailers that you send out. You want to have people come into your LinkedIn profile looking for you specifically. LinkedIn can tell, they know, right, how people came into their website, whether it was through your link or whether they were just scrolling and happened to come across you and see your picture and think you're a nice person, so they checked you out, whatever. If LinkedIn sees that people are going to LinkedIn to find you or to via using the link that you're advertising, and they're coming in that way, LinkedIn wants to help you out because you now are a partner with LinkedIn of sorts. You're helping bring people onto LinkedIn, and LinkedIn likes that. What do they do for that? They reward you by showing your profile to a bigger audience. Does that make any sense? Why would that matter? Because the more eyeballs that see your name, that see your profile, the higher chance you have that one of those people wants to work with you, wants to hire you to help sell their house, wants to hire you to help refinance their mortgage. So the goal is to have as many people as possible see your profile. So what I would tell, when I say advertise, I'm not just meaning money. It could be money, but I'm just meaning put your link, your LinkedIn profile link everywhere, because you want people to be clicking on it and coming in to see your profile. And that is kind of a little specific thing. There's two types of things when it comes to posting. I'm going to run out of time. Son of a gun. There's two types of posts. If we're going to flip now to actually posting on LinkedIn, how do you post? You just post just like you would on Facebook. You can actually go on there and you post. There was somebody just asked me a question about where that they can't actually figure out where to put the post. So when you scroll up, sometimes it's hidden, right? When you scroll, when you can see the very tippy top of your page, there's a place that says write a post. I'm looking at it on my phone just to say the right words. You go to home and it'll say write a post, and you could put a video in there, guys, that you'd already recorded, or you could and by the way, you can put videos that are about up to 10 minutes, I believe right now is the rule on LinkedIn. You can't put very long videos. Like on Facebook, you can put videos that are hours. I think right now the current limit is maybe 4 hours. Some of you guys can correct me in the comments, you social media influencers, but I think it's 4 hours that you can upload a recorded video on Facebook. And LinkedIn, it's much more shorter form. But anyways, you can put videos on there, you can put pictures on there, you can put words on there, you can just very similar to a Facebook type of a deal. But they found that there are two types of posts, two types of things that you can put onto LinkedIn that work really well. statistically speaking. This Buzz Sumo has published some interesting stats. And one is something about industry trends really works well. So for you real estate agents, talking about things that are going on, trends that are happening in the industry, those work really well. People like to see those on LinkedIn. And the others that really work well in the big category is how-to articles. So like 10 ways to do this, 5 things that you should know before you sell your house, 15 tips for getting the most money for your house, those kind of things. So industry trends and how-to articles work really well when you're thinking about what you want to post. For those of you who like to blog, who like to write articles, LinkedIn is a great platform for that. Photos and videos do well also, but people go on LinkedIn and they'll actually read like white paper type of articles. There's a slide for those of you who aren't able to see the screen right now. I'm showing you a slide, and this is the one that I'll offer if you want me to. Just send me a text or send me an email. My email is toby@lifeisaladder.com. And then my phone number, I'll put it below this post. And text me and say, Toby, I'd like the slides that you shared, because I'm sharing a really cool slide that talks about the top headline phrases. So these are the headline phrases, if you're going to post something on LinkedIn, that got the most attention by this study that they did. The study was a couple of years ago now, but it still rings true. And spoiler, I'll tell you, for instance, some of them are the future of, and then fill in the blank, 10 ways to, or blank ways to, whatever number you want, need to know, things you need to know. So, and there's a whole list. You're not going to be able to see it on the slide because it's small, but it's there, and I'll be happy to share that with you to give you some ideas. It is 9 o'clock, so I know some of you have to jump. Go ahead. I'm going to finish this in the next 5-10 minutes because I want to knock this LinkedIn out. Here's another thing to consider when it comes to using LinkedIn. So A, connect, to B, join groups, but here's some really cool stuff. There are great tools on LinkedIn that show you how to use their platform. So if you go to the bottom of LinkedIn, wherever you're at, go to the bottom of the page, or go to the home page and look, you'll find a place that says that you can go into a marketing section of LinkedIn, and they have a blog free that you can subscribe to, where they will send you an email if you'd like, or you can just read the articles, and they share all these cool articles about how to brand yourself on LinkedIn. That they'll share the top 10 most engaged with websites, or sites rather, profiles on LinkedIn. In other words, they'll give you 10 examples of sites and profiles that are banging, that look awesome, that people are really engaging well with. So they'll give you some ideas. They want to see you use the platform and have success with the platform. Why? There again, because this is a money-making machine. They want companies to pay money to advertise on LinkedIn. This is all about keeping people on the network. So the more engaging the content, not only is it good for you, but it's really good for the platform, for in this case, LinkedIn. Another thing though, and the reason I want to finish this is because there's another little hack, if you will, that I want to share with everyone that works so swimmingly well. I can't tell you. If there's somebody that you wanted to connect with, maybe it's somebody that you met at an open house 8 months ago and you want to reconnect, or maybe it's somebody that is the senior leader at a business that you're trying to form a referral relationship with, or maybe it's an attorney in your community that you'd like to reach out to, that you'd like to see if they'd like to go to coffee or lunch, so you can form a relationship, a reciprocal relationship. Guys, I'll tell you what, here's the hack. If you will use your smartphone and record a little video to that person that you're trying to reach out to, so this requires, I know, that you do a video, and I know a lot of us don't like doing videos, but you're going to record it. It's not live, so you can practice and do this thing 10 times if you'd like. If you just record a little 60-second or less video, that's not a rule, it's just it goes much easier through the system if it's a short video, 60 seconds or less, record the video, you have it in your phone, you can send that via, that video message, via a private message through LinkedIn. And if that person is on LinkedIn, and how can you tell if they're on LinkedIn? There's a lot of ways, but you can tell by how many connections they have. Is it something that they post and comment on? People can see your posts and your comments on LinkedIn. Even when you comment on somebody else's post, people can generally, they can see that. So just FYI. That said, that's good because you can see if somebody's active, if they've been on LinkedIn recently. And if they are on LinkedIn, if that's a platform that they're on, and you send them a video message saying, hey, Bob, Toby here, haven't had the opportunity to meet you yet. I wanted to see if you're up for it, if you're comfortable going to coffee next week. I'd love to meet you and talk so I can learn about your business. If you send a brief little video to somebody like that, guys, I'm telling you what, it works so well. It's like being able to meet somebody face to face because they're seeing your face, right? They're getting to actually meet you, see you. It's a great little tactic for meeting new people and also for people that maybe you already know, but that you just haven't seen in a while. It's a great connector, is a little tip. The other tip I would say is give people reviews. They call them recommendations on LinkedIn, but you can write a few sentences about somebody. There again, we've talked about character reviews, even if you've never done business with that person. But certainly if you have done business with that enterprise or that person, the reviews on LinkedIn, recommendations, it means a lot. It helps people. People look at those. I know I do. When I used to hire people, I would look at the recommendations that people had given to them to see what other people thought of them. It also shows the recommendations that you've given on LinkedIn. So every recommendation that you write, it's like a review that you write, it stays on your profile so people can see who you've recommended. I like that. You know why? Because when I see that somebody has given a lot of reviews, recommendations, when I see that somebody's done that, it says something about that person to me. It says that they're kind, they're grateful, they're nice, right? They're thoughtful. So I like to see that people have given reviews and that they've received reviews both ways. But there's so much, just get in the game is what I would tell you. Hashtags are valuable on LinkedIn. They are valuable on Facebook and Instagram. We haven't even talked about hashtags at all yet. I'll touch on them. I'll make a note to make sure we touch on those over the next 12 days that we have together still. But hashtags are relevant, so you can use your hashtags if that's something that you use on your other platforms. But yeah, I mean, it's just another place to reach people. Statistically speaking, the income, the annual per capita income is higher on average of the LinkedIn user versus some of these other platforms. Part of that is because the average age is higher of a LinkedIn user. But it's also because there again, it's a business platform. So, you know, a CEO of a Fortune 500 company might not be posting on Instagram, but she might be posting on LinkedIn, or she might be on LinkedIn. And there again, and last thing I'll say is just because people don't post a lot doesn't mean that they're not looking and they're not on there. So also don't confuse that just because you don't see, you know, Bill Smith that owns whatever XYZ hospital, just, you know, don't think that he's not on there. He very possibly could be watching and looking. It just might not be that he doesn't like to post. So great opportunity. People can also, by the way, see who's been looking at them. So that's another thing I said last thing, but I guess I should mention that. Whereas on other platforms, you can't always see who's been looking at you. Now you kind of can, things have changed, but generally speaking, it's much easier. Let me phrase it like this. It's much easier for the average user that doesn't know a lot of tech stuff, for those average users to see when somebody has been looking at their profile. So if you're going on there to look at your ex-boss, if you're going on there to look at your old team, your old coworkers, and you're looking at them, you're allowed to look at their profiles, but I'm just forewarning you that they hypothetically, and maybe they could see, just like you can see who looks at your profile to a degree. If you get one of those free accounts, the basic free accounts, you can't see everybody. They'll give you like a handful of the people that have been looking at your profile. If you upgrade, like I have, I wanted to see who was looking at my profile. Why? Because maybe some of those, if they're checking out my profile, maybe they'd like to bring me into their business and have me do a seminar for their employees. So I like to know. So for me, it was worth paying the monthly fee to see who's looking at my profile. So maybe for you, there's also a whole nother topic of Sales Navigator. And yeah, there's a lot of tools, a lot of opportunity in LinkedIn. There are plenty of businesses, many companies that make their entire living just helping individuals and helping companies to optimize and really leverage LinkedIn, that make millions and millions of dollars just helping people to use this tool that don't work for LinkedIn, like outside consultants. So it's a very robust tool. It's a great platform. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn, have been for a really, really long time. I don't do near as much as on there for myself as I should, but I have many of my clients that do a lot of business and reach a lot of new clients on LinkedIn. So that's what I'll say with you and to you in closing is, if it's not a tool that you're using, make today the day. Go on. How do you do that? You block out time this afternoon from 3 to 3:30. I'm going to go into LinkedIn and play around in there and set up my profile. Or from 3:30 to 4, I'm using LinkedIn periodically, but I'm really going to go in there and dig in and update my profile and really start having a cadence, having a habit of going on there and really using it for my business. So anyways, and share this whole video, my post with somebody, if you know a small business owner that is looking to increase their business or increase their exposure and their advertise is what I was trying to say, or promote their business. This is a great tool, and I'd be remiss if I didn't offer, as a business coach, this is one of the many things that if you wanted to work on, I could definitely help you get set up and also help you to create some valuable habits around using this tool and others to increase your business. So if that's something you'd ever like help with now or in the future, I would be honored to assist. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 8:30. Take care. Bye.